viewers, and welcome to another episode of Lancer Custom Werks, where I will be discussing the various mech builds you could make and play with Lancer. Barbarossa is the biggest mech in the entire book. Of course, all other size 2 mechs can just take Armory and frame to get larger, but Barbarossa doesn't even need that to begin with. Not only is it as tall as a mountain, it's also as immovable as one. Your allies could even use it as a gigantic cover, and while the number of NPC that deals explosive damage isn't many, this still means that Barbarossa can take explosion very well. Unfortunately, due to its immovable nature, even ally has trouble giving it mobility boost unless you teleport them or let it do the moving itself. It's also very slow, both in terms of actual speed, and its ability to play dodgeball. But when you got the biggest fucking gun in the book, why even bother with moving when you can stop everyone from moving permanently? Hell, you could even play a game of chicken by charging up the gun and just not use it and get your core power refunded in the end. And heck, you have 3 weapon mounts, you just gonna have so much firepower that it's kinda ridiculous. To absolutely no one's surprise, in the following 40 builds, I know I set 40 builds as the limit, but I keep obtaining precisely 40 builds from my submitters. It's kinda weird. Anyway, in the following 40 builds, quite a number of them have the following 3 systems from Barbo license. Artillery mech wants more range, so using siege stabilizers is a no-brainer move, and loading weapons often hit the hardest, so might as well get auto-loader drone to reload quicker since you are not moving anywhere, and with additional range and reloading speed, why not just get siege cannon, which has ridiculous range, dual fire mode, and can shoot over cover. It's just so good. Now, it's quite obvious that most of the Barbarossa builds will be artillery, it's just good at it, but none of Barbarossa's traits actually impede melee combat, and with its massive bulk and immovable nature, Barbarossa can be a surprisingly effective melee combatant. But anyway, let's list out the pure artillery Barbo first. This is big cannon, small brain, a look on what a standard Barbarossa build should look like. A massive gun with tons of bonuses stacked on it, relevant ranged weapon talents like Siege Specialist for more boom, some quick loading systems like external ammo feed, which is not a problem with Barba's massive heat cap, and a backup weapon. Like, what else do you even need when you can just shoot this massive siege cannon as quickly as you can? Hell, it even has Paracausal mod to outright ignore any armor or resistance, which, as I frequently find in Lancer sessions that I have ran, can be extremely annoying. Here's one packed with Supermassive mod to deal more damage and send people flying harder, Siege Stabilizer for even more range, as if siege cannon needs more, and redundant systems upgrade to deal with heat and reloading. This one even has jump jet to jump over obstacle, and with Ace 2, it doesn't matter if it only has speed 2 when it can gain potentially 6 more spaces of movement with a boost. This one just has a bog standard siege cannon, using auto-loader drone and siege stabilizer to support it. Actually, this seems more like the standard Barbarossa build now that I have taken a look at it. It also has auto cooler to cool down since it's not going to move anywhere, and Havoc charges to keep people away. Havoc charges are also unique in that you can put Havoc mine besides you as a safeguard because it's directional and doesn't burn you alive for standing close to it. This build also interestingly uses Stormbringer Shatterhead missile as a side weapon. At first I was just, what? But it quickly makes sense. Stormbringer 3 only gets charged once per round, so using a single target launcher that can hit reliably even over cover to knock people around or even stun people with a massive attack can be quite useful. This one instead has an extremely accurate siege cannon, mounted on a Barbarossa that can freaking fly. I also like the fact that this Barba has Ace 3, so it can tag an ally with high speed to reach everywhere and just supersonic to their location despite only having speed 3, it gives a hilarious mental image. And if you overheat somehow, you have adaptive reactor to patch up your stress on the spot. This is Carry a Big Stick, it has a Cyclone pulse rifle, a very accurate super heavy weapon available right at the start, and with Nanocomp, this rifle can outright ignore cover and any mech with low E defense is going to just die. This build also has Heatfall coolant and deep well heat sink, so you could potentially overcharge every turn to use auto-loader drone, effectively firing the rifle every turn, and with Technophile and Black Thumb, you can further decreasing the heat gain while your onboard NHP shoots the rifle as quickly as it can. Just hope you never get moved. This is another Heatfall overcharge Cyclone pulse rifle Barba, using an entirely different technique with autocooler instead, and with siege stabilizer and Roland chamber, this pulse rifle can hit far and hit real hard every turn. You even have roller charges to knock any nearby danger away like a fly. Of course, not every single artillery Barba needs to bring the big guns, you can pack a whole bunch of small one instead. This is the rifles at home. It has like 4 guns, not including Apocalypse Rail. Basically you just use Hunter Lock on someone and shoot them with the most effective gun that you have. Fusion Rifle especially works really well with Siege Stabilizer and external batteries, because the further the target is, the more damage you do, 6 max before bonus damage. This one also packs almost the same array of guns, except it can fly and turn invisible. We just need Infiltrator now for the most terrifying thing on the planet. This is I've Got You in My Sights, a Barbarossa that can deal highly accurate long-range attacks with dual Vulture DMR, railgun, and the ability to climb on wall, and considering you are a Barba, you are impossible to be knocked prone unless a Goliath trying to swat you, so you are basically immune to melee strikers with a high enough building. And finally, there's unlimited ammo, a Heatfall overcharge Barbarossa with a bunch of loading weapon. Depending on the situation, you can skirmish with one of the loading weapon, use external ammo feed to reload, and overcharge for another big shot, which with Roland is going to hit hard, and with Accelerate, you can move things around with ease, especially with your size. And that's all for the pure artillery Barba builds, but things are going to get much crazier from now on, especially with artillery controller. This is Citizenry, a drone commander Barbarossa. The primary weakness of artillery frame is they are vulnerable to melee striker. There's many ways to keep them away, but this Barba chooses to use a whole bunch of drones to create a denial zone instead, and since Barbarossa has 10 sensor range, it can reach quite far with it. This is Battalion, a Barbarossa that doesn't just use drones on their own, but also as conduit for Annihilation Nexus to rip any hostile near them into pieces. It also has Spotter, Restock Drone, and Held Image to either support allied artillery or itself. This is Total Systems Failure, because after spending one turn firing Siege Cannon and then reloading it with Auto Loader, you are left with one quick action to do something. This build decided to spend that action on hacking everything. Moving, defending, stopping, and shenanigans. You have the full Goblin set to do anything you want, and with Open Door, save roll will get more painful. This Barba also has Infiltrator. For some reason, I guess it will be very useful if very large cover is around. This is Hit Hard and Prosper, so here's the thing about being a size 3, this means that you can reach further with any weapons or systems, which includes Swarm Body that now cover more space because of how large Barba is. Honestly, Swarm Body is perfect for Barbarossa, because you usually aren't moving anywhere if you are using Barba normally. Not many NPC can actually move you, and if any melee attacker decided that approaching you is a good idea, they are probably piloted by that one guy who zapped himself 190 times out of boredom in an experiment. My only question is, why would you put Missile Rack in a main weapon mount and give it Gunslinger? Auto Loader could only reload one weapon at a time, and you will definitely use it on Siege Cannon instead of plinking missiles, which even with Gunslinger is not going to do as much as a main weapon. Anyway, that's obviously not the only Swarm Body Barbarossa in this video. This one even has Charged Blade to stab anyone that gets too close, and Hive Drone for double swarm damage and protection. This is Improbability Drive, which is, out of all things, a Heatfall overcharge mimic gun Barba with Sisyphus, so not only can you give someone like half a dozen effects at once with one shot of mimic gun, but also makes it so that probability changes around you. Also, it has universal comp, so when you do actually fire the big gun, you can instantly heal up and everything, and with Sisyphus, you have a higher chance of getting a refund to fire the big gun again. Keep in mind that you only get to use universal comp if you actually consume core power. Playing chicken with the Apocalypse Rail doesn't count. This is the Wizard in his Wizard's Tower casts lightning upon the land, because it turns out that with external batteries and siege stabilizer, even short-range weapons can dramatically increase their range. Not only does this build has roller charges, Heavy Gunner can also keep people locked down right in your optimal range, and Flak Launcher can massively impair any flying hostile, if they are actually present. Seriously though, Flak Launcher is very specialized, use it if there's flyers around. This is Funny Meeting You Here, which convinces people to stay away with roller charges and javelin rockets. You can even use roller charges to knock people into the rockets for more damage. And if that doesn't work, its massive size along with thermal charges Warpike that can reach threat 3 will threaten anyone that stays too close. And that's all on the artillery controller builds for Barba, but sometimes you want to lean more on the support side. This is Blink Space Pummeler, which aside from being an OC stabilize howitzer Barba which hits quite hard and wide, it also has Blink Space Tunneler, which by spending its turn moving and flying with Ace 2, can send the party forward by quite a distance. This is Anime Space Boat, a mule harness Barba that can carry size 2.5 worth of allies, at a maximum speed of 2. However, everyone on it will get hard cover due to its trait, so this Barba is effectively a mobile cover loaded with guns. I would prefer it to have lots of support talents instead of just leader, but supporting by killing everything is still an effective strategy. This is Stand By Me. It works like any other artillery Barba, except you can make you and everyone around you invisible, so now you and your allies are less vulnerable to counter battery now. You even have Athena so nobody can hide from you instead, and Spotter to aid your allies, preferably an RD unit. And finally, this is Sit Back and Relax, a Black Witch Barba mix that has Ice Out Drone to block electronic warfare, Ferris Lash and PCP to move people around or stop them, and Magnetic Cannon to pull people in, which might be bad news for you but not your allies. Support, however, isn't the only way a Barba can aid its allies. Its sheer size, mass, and Colossus trait also serves to protect smaller mechs, but a Barba can be even more specialized in the defender aspect. This is Flying Fortress, and its name is exactly what it does. It can bloody fly, and set up magnetic shield and black ice module to protect its allies from both physical and electronic threats, that or just bombard anyone at range so they can never hurt your allies. I would definitely prefer having Ace 2 with any flying Barba build though, that increases your mobility dramatically. Or you could just use Argonaut Shield, get slope plating, and shield your allies with your own body, like this build over here. Just ignore everything else in this build. I don't know what's going on here. Now that we are done with all the artillery Barbarossa builds, let's go with some that prefer close range more. Like I said before, despite everything, Barbarossa's traits doesn't lean on either artillery or striker side, meaning it actually works well either way. Apocalypse Rail might be an issue since you must not move when it's charging, but being a striker is also a boon here since your enemy can't get close to you without you eviscerating them. This is Rex's TED. What you do is simply fly straight into an enemy formation with Ace, and start punching everything. Duelist and Auto Stab make the Catalytic Hammer even more capable of critting and stunning people, which can massively eat into the enemy's action economy, but honestly that's a bonus. You basically fly in, punch everything, and drag all the attention on you while your allies do whatever they want. Unsurprisingly, there isn't just one of this build. This one packs an external ammo feed for quick reload in exchange for heat, jump jet to jump over obstacle, and Juggernaut plus siege ram to ram anything painfully into the closest wall. This is Giant's Might, ADD288 Barba. Do I need to explain further? This is basically going to lead to a hilarious situation where a melee striker hits you feebly and Barba is just, "Ah, I see.
You tried."
And if they are too afraid to even get close to you, that's what Accelerate is for. And with TSS 2 and 3, you can choke the life out of people, or send them away like a bowling pin. It feels amazing. This is another DD288 Barba, one that has jump jet to fly, because it's not terrifying enough yet. This one just looks almost exactly the same as the first one. This is Zoom, a supermassive cannibal Barbarossa to send people flying with each hit, preferably through a row of javelin rockets for even more damage. It even has hardpoint reinforcement and rapid maneuver jets to make it damn near invulnerable on approaching any enemy group. And if things are too far, you have loads of Charanga missiles to deal with them too. This is Jeremy Clarkson, a ramjet Barba made to charge and smash the shit out of people with a war pike. With ramjet, jump jet, ace, and accelerate, this Barba can get stupid fast, and with Juggernaut 3, your boost can let you go through damn near anything. Nothing is going to stop this Barba. And finally, there's Welcome to the Pit, a flying Barba armed with Terashima and Croil rifle. This build would have been real powerful if not for the lack of ace, which mean this Barba is a lot slower than it should be. It also has, of all things, a Jägerkust 1, this thing is not going to remotely work with Barba at all. If it has Jägerkust 2 on the other hand, now that would make it even more ridiculous. All these striker Barbarossa builds are rather powerful in combination of its size, defense, and raw power, but there's other ways to build a striker Barba too. This is Slam Dunk, a striker controller Barba that packs a heavy gunner HMG to stop anyone within its range. Other than its jump jet, it funny enough also has Mimic Mesh, which lets it move faster towards its ally as long as its ally keeps getting shot, as well as Hunter and Skirmisher. And if it takes a massive hit, it can just brace out of the way with Reactive Weave. This is one speedy Barba that's for sure. And this is Supermassive Black Hole, which is a rather fitting name considering this Barba has double magnetic cannon, nanobot whip, and Ferris Lash, all to pull hostiles inward so they can get sliced apart by the swarm body. My only question is, why does it have siege stabilizer, since magnetic cannon, a line weapon, won't work with it? And this is a kiss goodbye, a very simple charge in and shoot everything Barba, but if someone annoying is coming towards you, just knock them back with roller charges, shoot them with Vanguard Cannibal, or just set them on fire with explosive vents. Or just run away since you are an ace jumper. This is Slippery Eel, a support battle taxi Barba that's way faster than the previous mule carrier. With bulwark mods, this Barba can ignore any difficult terrain it created from the whitewash spray, which can also cleanse burn off any allies. And of course, accelerate, because you could never have enough accelerate. And finally, there's the Striker Defender. This is Goliath cosplayer, an exemplar Barba made to be as annoying as the Goliath, pinning hostile down with Impaler and Heavy Gunner HMG, and have shield for both itself and its allies. And this is Panopticon, a double Vorpal gun Barba with siege stabilizer to shoot everyone that tried to shoot back within range 10, a terrifying amount of range for Vorpal gun, along with other things like Mimic Mesh, Scorpion, Sentinel Drone to protect its allies, and even Total Strength Suite 1 to knock everything back with a giant boulder. And that's 39 builds so far. The last one is a bit of a unique case. This is Friendly Neighborhood Blockhead, a Barbarossa that can both shield its allies with magnetic and support shields, and move or stop people with Ferris Lash, PCP, and Heavy Gunner HMG. The support shield in particular gains massive benefits from Barba, since a burst 3 area is going to get a lot bigger with a size 3 mech. And of course, it can also fly and has Heatfall coolant for low overcharge heat, which lets it overcharge way more frequently for more action. And that's 40 Barbarossa builds I have featured in this episode. Thank you to all the submitters for sending in your Barbarossa builds. It's nice to see plenty of Barba builds that aren't just big gun carrier, but sometimes, you just want to shoot something until it's scrap. Anyway, here's the topic for the next episode, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.